Good afternoon. I'm Arvis Washington, the Deputy Director for the Department of Navy's Office of Small Business Programs, led by our distinguished Director, Mr. Jimmy Smith. On behalf of OSBP, we thank you for joining us today. We started this webinar series as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic as a way to continue our outreach, but received such rave reviews and decided to keep it going, committing to host at least 3 webinars a month. The DON recognizes small businesses are the catalyst of innovation, and we use this platform as a way to attract new business partners. You can view previously recorded events on our website under the Outreach and Past Events tab, or visit our YouTube channel. I would like to direct you to our website at www.secnav.navy.mil/small-business, where you can find a wealth of information, including our DON OSBP operations plan. You can locate your small business professional and find information to stay up to date about upcoming industry days, commands outreach, and in general, what's happening across the Department of the Navy. I also encourage you to connect with us on our social media platforms, including Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. We have 2 upcoming webinars this month. On Thursday, January 14th, we're featuring Mr. Stephen Mapes, the Director of the Small Business Programs at the Defense Counterintelligence and Security Agency. Well, he'll provide you an overview of their program, including contracting opportunities and acquisition procedures. And on Thursday, January 21st, we'll be featuring Mr. Gregory James, Director, and Mr. Spalil Rivas, Business Development Coordinator at the Cross Timbers Procurement Center, where they'll be talking to us about helping businesses comply with DoD cybersecurity requirements, including their self-assessments. That event will be held on January the 21st at 1 p.m. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank Ms. Vicki Mundt for joining us today. As the Associate Director for External Relations for the Department of Defense's Office of Small Business Programs, Ms. Mundt and her team promote events and activities for small businesses who are interested in doing business with the Department of Defense. She directly supports the Office of Small Business Programs mission, including maximizing opportunities for small businesses to contribute to national security by providing combat power for our troops and economic power for our nation. Prior to joining DoD OSBP, Ms. Mundt served in a variety of positions in the Office of Entrepreneurial Development at the Small Business Administration. She was the Director of Entrepreneurship Education, Deputy Associate Administrator for the Office of Small Business Development Centers, and a financial manager. Ms. Mundt is a retired Navy captain, go Navy, where she served for 26 years in a number of leadership positions in Navy Medicine Headquarters and Navy hospitals. Thank you so much for joining us today, ma'am, and over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that great introduction. And I guess I'm ready to begin. If we can pull up the slides. Great. Thank you. Let's go on to slide 2, please. And that's me in the introduction she just read, so we can go on to slide 3. Okay, before we begin, I'll just kind of give you an overview of what we have done in 2020. And when I say we include the whole Department of Defense. My office in particular really does the policy, and all the work is done by all the services and the defense agencies that come under the Department of Defense, who all have small business offices and their professionals that work there. And they do all the work and we take all the credit. So up in the top left-hand corner, you can see the first shows that the small business performance that we've done. Let's see. Over the past, we've achieved our goal for FY 2020 as far as getting small businesses. The goal, you can see small disadvantaged businesses, we did 9.33%, and our goal is 5%, so we well exceeded that. As far as women-owned small businesses, we've achieved 4.08, and our goal there is 5% as well. So we're a little short on that one. The service disabled veteran-owned small businesses, we've achieved 3.24 with our goal of 3%. And then Hub Zone, our goal is also 3%, and we've achieved 2.2%. So basically we've done a great job. In FY20, we spent a record $80 billion on small business prime contacts, surpassing the 22.05% with our goal. The goal was 22.05% and our performance was 24.69. These numbers are still preliminary. When SBA closes them out next month, then we'll know for sure, but we don't expect any changes. And again, this success is due primarily to the hard work of all the business professionals that are out in the field working directly with the small businesses every day. And we especially appreciate the Navy's ability to adapt and innovate and support the small business industrial base in this new environment. On to slide 4, please. As many of you know, our office has a mission to maximize opportunities for small businesses to contribute to the national security by providing combat power for our troops and economic power for our nation. That's our mission. And like I said, all of this is done because the small businesses are the backbone to our American economy. We want to include them as much as we can in all that we do in the Department of Defense. On to slide 5. In fiscal year 2019, OSBP used that mission to create our overall strategy for inclusion in the National Defense Authorization Act and the development of 3 strategic objectives. Our objectives are to implement a unified management structure, to align DoD's small business activities with the national defense priorities, and third, to strengthen DoD's ability to support small business. We continue to work toward achieving each of these objectives, which you can read more about on our website, business.defense.gov, which we'll share again later. So you'll get to see that if we did that too fast. However, this year's challenges in 2020 have brought new things for us to think about. We've had to adjust aspects of our mission to identify ways to partner with industry as we jointly navigate the challenges brought by COVID-19. Slide 6. A big part of that challenge is redefining how we communicate with our businesses to help improve the relationships between the private sector and our department. This includes efforts that our nationwide small business professionals. Shortly after the pandemic began, we established lines of communication with our industry partners, to maintain a pulse in the private sector. We worked closely with our Industrial Policy Office and brought together shareholders from across acquisition and sustainment to host regular calls with 15 key industry associations representing the interests of over 3 million companies. These bi-weekly calls have been an essential conduit of information both to and from the private sector. Based on the information that we've gathered during these calls, our team has addressed issues such as small business impacts, work stoppages, and getting a higher rate of progress payments to our industry. During the COVID-19 national emergency, the department has entered agreements for over $664 million in defense investments across our hardest hit defense industrial base sectors, ensuring our national security mission is supported. These investments included $236 million in shipbuilding and $252.1 million in the aircraft sector. with more investments in medical resources in other sectors. We also partnered with the U.S. International Development Finance Corporation to leverage $100 million to provide loans to support industries critical to the U.S. COVID-19 response and recovery. This pandemic has given us a greater visibility into how fragile our supply chain is, both domestically and with foreign suppliers. We have learned an important lesson that securing and diversifying our supply chain is paramount, especially when collaborating with allies or partner nations to utilize or develop capabilities overseas. Building off these lessons learned, we are focused on reshoring critical capabilities going forward and building greater capabilities here at home to deter adversarial capital and lessen our foreign dependencies. On to slide 7. We are also addressing industry concerns with our small business defense webinar series. Much like this series, we have not been as aggressive to have 3 a month, but we do commit to having 1 webinar a month. And we've covered a broad range of topics, including COVID-19 resources, cybersecurity, foreign investment, successful teleworking practices, and more. To date, we have had 9 webinars reaching over 4,000 small business attendees, and we plan to start them back up next month. In February, we'll be having ones, and you can find out about that by going to our website. We welcome you to join and share this information with any of your colleagues, and you can learn more about it. We've also renewed our focus on our digital outreach efforts. The DoD OSBP website has grown tremendously in content and views. Over the past year, we have increased our page views. In April of 2019, before I was there, the site had approximately 42,000 page views. And in April of 2020, also before I was there, the number exploded to 246,000 views. So you can see we have become a place for everyone to go to get the latest information. We make sure that the website is updated with timely and accurate COVID-19 resources for our small businesses, including the list of lenders for the Paycheck Protection Program and other DoD specific guidance. We are working to make the site a central hub of information for all things DoD small business, including lists of events for each of the small business offices in our place. So if you're interested in seeing what other things are available, if you go to our website, you can click on events and you can see what events are going on throughout the nation. And the good thing is right now, since everything is virtual, you don't have to be in that area to participate. Anyone can register for any of the ones that are there. So we're hoping to get as much information as we can out there. My team has done an awesome job doing that, and it's got quite a list there already. We also use our social media as another way to connect with industry directly. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Business Defense. And we are always happy to collaborate and share so if anybody else is doing webinars and they want us to share their information, just let us know what that is and we'll share other people's events as well. All these efforts have helped DoD spend nearly $4.8 billion directly on small business to support the federal COVID-19 response. That represents nearly half of the DoD dollars spent on COVID-19 related efforts. And I'd also like to note that Navy awarded $147 million to small businesses to support this effort as well. We are working to next slide. Oh, I guess this was the one I was talking about how much we have done. And down in the bottom, you can see how much each of our component agencies have done, with Army leading the way there, and DLA, Air Force, Navy. These are all the expenses, all the obligations that we've had specifically for COVID-19, which is amazing that we've done this much. On to the next slide, please. We are working also to shine a light on the ongoing changes to cybersecurity requirements. As you may know, DoD released an interim rule on September 29, 2020 that created 2 distinct cyber compliance rules for DoD contractors. The interim rule became effective December 1st, 2020. Contractors are now required to undergo an assessment process to ensure compliance with NIST 800.171, which ranges from a basic assessment to a medium or high level assessment. And as of December 1st, 2020, DoD is including 2 new FAR clauses in all DoD contracts, which require that contractors perform assessments and submit scores as a condition of the award. So if you aren't familiar with this, you might want to become familiar with this. Next slide, please. Through a partnership with the U.S. Cyber Command, the Office of Small Business Programs created Project Spectrum. It's a one-stop shop for the industry's cybersecurity maturity model certification, or CMMC. It's a place that you can go for all of your CMMC questions. Project Spectrum offers training to small businesses across the country to help comply with the regulations on cybersecurity readiness found in the Defense Acquisition Regulation Supplement, or DFARS. And that's what I was talking about on the slide prior to this. So feel free to go to projectspectrum.io, where you can find helpful articles, webinars, courses, and training videos to help you stay up to date on all things CMMC. Another initiative, the Cybersecurity Education Diversity Initiative, or CEDI, is another cybersecurity focused program developed in collaboration with the National Security Agency. The CEDI initiative assists minority serving institutions in historically Black colleges and universities that have no cybersecurity program to obtain access to consultation and resources from designated National Centers of Academic Excellence in Cybersecurity, thus expanding the access to quality cybersecurity education and mentoring to students in all 50 states. Next slide, please. So we also remain focused on our standing small business initiatives and programs. The DoD Mentor Protege Program, or MPP, is the oldest continuously operating federal mentor protege program in existence. To date, over 1,200 proteges have participated in the program, with current agency participants including the Air Force, Army, Navy, Missile Defense Agency, Defense Intelligence Agency, and a few more, with efforts underway to expand the program to other DoD agencies. We will continue refining the MPP program experience both for existing potential mentors and proteges. We are committed to improving the program and working collaboratively with the participating services and agencies. So please keep an eye on our website for any updates. Next slide. Another critical area of focus for our team is the Indian Incentive Program, or IIP. This congressionally sponsored program helps Native organizations and Native-owned economic enterprises win subcontracts by providing a 5% rebate to the prime contractors that utilize these businesses on contracts worth $500,000 or more. Through these subcontracts, the IIP serves as an economic multiplier for Native American communities, while at the same time establishing a diverse industrial base for the department. And I'll reiterate that the success of these programs and the overall defense industrial base is a direct result of all of our small business professionals. So please don't hesitate to reach out to them if you have any questions or ideas for improving upon the programs, or let us know as well. Next slide, please. Although our office primarily focuses on policy, I wanted to speak briefly about working with DoD and some resources that may make that process a little bit easier. Pursuing DoD contracts is not for everyone. It requires patience, persistence, and in-depth understanding of the federal acquisition rules. It typically takes at least 18 months of planning before a government contractor wins its first contract. For those starting out, plan to invest significant time and resources in becoming procurement ready. It includes first identifying your potential opportunities and marketing to potential clients, and then developing proposals, complying with DoD regulations and rules, and lastly, implementing the contract. While it's not easy, several government resources and tools can help you win DoD contracts. Slide 14, please. Great. So we've compiled a 10-step process, and I want to emphasize the word process because it really is. I encourage you that if you embark upon this process to go down each one. Don't skip any of the steps and go in order. They were developed tried and true this way for a reason, and I think they're very helpful. This is just the list. The actual in-depth kind of step-by-step process you can find under each step on our website. These steps apply to new and experienced companies alike. Like I said, I encourage you to do each one. Don't skip any of them because you'll end up that you'll be going back to the beginning if you skip them. You can review that, like I said, in depth on our website. For DoD's, and then in addition to this 10-step process, there are a couple other things that can help you win a contract. For DoD specific opportunities, many agencies within the Department of Defense prepare what we call an acquisition forecast. This is where they help you know what they plan to buy so that you can see if the services or products that you have to offer are in their plan, and then you know who to market to. So these forecasting methodologies vary by service and constitute a best estimate of upcoming opportunities. While the forecast information is provided for planning purposes and is subject to change, they are a great starting point when planning your outreach efforts. So you can find this comprehensive list of DoD forecasts on our website. It's kind of a theme here, huh? Everything that I'm talking about can be found at our website, business.defense.gov. So when you're ready to start directly marketing your company's capabilities, DoD's small business professionals, also known as the SBPs, should be your first point of contact inside of each agency. SBPs are the department's advocates for small business. For an existing requirement, you should request an appointment with an SBP at least 18 months before a contract expires. SBPs can help you prepare for meetings with contracting officers and program managers. We have the contact information for all the SBPs also. There are links to them that's also on our website. Next slide, please. And I'd also like to direct you and anyone who's navigating this process to go to a DoD technical assistance program, to the DoD Procurement Technical Assistance Program, or PTAP, which DLA, our Defense Logistics Agency, administers for the specific purpose of offering mentorship to small businesses that they want to learn about doing business with the government. The PTAP program has what we call PTACs, Procurement Technical Assistance Centers, and they are nationwide. There's about 93 of them nationwide, and so there's probably one in your area. They are there specifically to help you win contracts with the DoD. They have expertise in that area, and they can help you navigate it. They offer the majority of their services at no cost, and you can find your local PTAC at DLA. It's on the slide there at dla.mil/small-business. And in addition to the PTACs, they're specifically for DoD. There are other resources. The Small Business Administration has both Small Business Development Centers, SBDCs, and Women Business Centers, WBCs, that also provide free one-on-one training in business plan development, finance, marketing, and government contracting as well. So you may find them as a helpful resource, and they again are nationwide, and you can go to SBA's website to find out more information about them. And SCORE is also one of the resource partners that's part of SBA, and they are located nationwide too, and they have volunteer mentors that are willing to help you at no cost. And again, I just encourage you to use these resources, either the PTACs or the SBDCs or the WBCs and SCORE, because they are experienced in this, and that's what they're there to do. And they receive, it's free to you, and they're funded by the federal government. So, well, partially, some of them have, they have to match it. And so they have universities that also pay for some of their programs as well. So next slide. So I will wrap up by sharing a few ways to get connected with us and the DoD Office of Small Business Programs. You can find us on various social media platforms, including Facebook and Twitter, and we're at Business Defense. Good thing it's up there because I don't say it right, at Business Defense. And I encourage everyone to visit the Small Business Programs website, which is business.defense.gov. And you will find all the helpful resources you need to navigate the current COVID-19. And as new resources become available, we will keep them there as well. We also have our OSBP webinar series information there. And then, like I said, the links to the small business professionals and those great forecasts that tell you about it. There's a wealth of information there, along with our 10 steps that tell you how to get a government contract. So I will reiterate that our small businesses are essential to DoD's mission and innovation initiatives, and we are looking forward to another successful year. So hopefully I didn't go too fast with that information. I sincerely thank you for your time today, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. I do have a number of my team members here too, standing by, because I am new. So if you ask me questions that I'm not familiar with, glad to have them answer for me, and I will call on them. So if there's questions waiting for us, please let us know.
Yes, ma'am. So what is the best practice to be notified by buyers of simplified acquisition opportunities? This company specifically does audio, video design and installation, and they have noticed a lot of work applicable that is given as simplified acquisition. So at a DoD level, how would you recommend they go about finding that information?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, when you say how do you get notified, and unfortunately, no one's probably going to notify them. It's a lot of you find the opportunity, and then you go after it. If it's a specific contract that you see, contact the contracting efforts, contact the small business professional. If it's a DoD contract you're looking at, there is a specific agency involved, and we have a small business professional at all of the DoD agencies that can do that. And like I said, on our website is links to each of them. So if you know what agency it is, you can go look on our website, go to that agency, click on that link, contact that person, and they can steer you from there. Or you can contact the Navy here. They know everything.
I don't know about that.
So yes, hopefully that answered your question. Any of my team, is there anything else you need to add to my response? All right, I might have did that one right.
All right. So the next question is specific about the Navy, but I'll talk in general. If there's a company that's interested in doing business with the Navy and they just don't know where to start, my first line of defense would say, go to our website. It's www.secnav.navy.mil/small business. And on there, we have a feature in the right corner on the toolbar called Search What the Don Buys. This is a data download from the Federal Procurement Data System, which is a rear-facing view. So it shows contracts that have been awarded, and we have specifically laid it out by NAICS awarded, NAICS funded, product service code awarded, product service code funded. And if you know your NAICS code or your product service code, you can filter that spreadsheet to determine what organizations across the Department of Navy are buying what it is that you're selling. You take that information, then you would go to the homepage of our website, and on there we have a map that says find your small business professional. You can click on that location on the map and you can find that small business person that's at the command that you're interested in potentially doing business with. And also I encourage you to look at the long range acquisition forecast that we have posted on our website as well. But looking at it from a DoD perspective, is there anything that you can offer to our listeners here about, you know, how to go about finding those particular procurements that they want to go after? The DoD marketplace is such a big marketplace. How can they go and narrow that down?
Yeah, you hit it exactly right. Yeah, you guys have a great tool there. And I think a lot of the DoD agencies, and at least the 3 services, definitely have those same tools on their website, so you can look in there. I mean, if you become, I guess, an expert in SAM, you can go to the beta.sam site and look at the contracts as well. You can do filters, and you can look at similar to what she said. If you know your NAICS code, you can find it. And I really encourage you to use those resource partners that are out there, the PTACs or the SBDCs. They are skilled in doing this. They do it all the time, helping people find those things. I mean, they may even give you a better idea. Maybe it's an offshoot. Maybe you're going to pivot and make something else because it's something that you could make, but you didn't know that somebody was looking for it specifically for a DoD contract or something. So I mean, I think your tool sounds like a great way to do it, and I encourage you to use the resource partners. So
great. So you talked a little bit, and you made the comment of pound the pavement, and not taking it literally, because in the COVID-19 environment, that opportunity for small businesses to come in and do a capabilities brief like we previously were able to do, set up meetings and things. What's the best advice that you can give to a small business for pounding the pavement and understanding how to do business with DoD?
I feel like I'm giving the same responses. But I mean, I really think that, I mean, specifically with DoD, you need to talk to the nearest PTAC. And it doesn't even have to really be the nearest one. I mean, you can call them. And that's one thing SCORE does too, is they specifically match you up with an expert in your actual, whatever it is you produce, whether it's manufacturing or it's a specific service. It's not necessarily location like the nearest one to you. So they've been doing virtual counseling for a long time in that way. But if you find, someone who's done it before, find an expert in your field who has experience with it, find a so-called informal mentor, or, I mean, depending on, I mean, if you know someone who's in the business who has a prime contract and you want to be their sub, and you can, adopt them and try to get into the mentor protege program, that's always another way to get assistance with it as well. But like I said, I really encourage you to use those resource partners and to use the tools that are on the websites. I don't have an answer. I did notice in the chat here that someone was saying, "Oh, I don't have 18 months to do this. I can't plan. I need to do it now." It's not a quick thing. I mean, it's not an easy thing. And if you skip some of the steps, I just don't think that you'll be as successful as if you go down each one and make sure that you have your business plan. You know what you want to market. You know who you want to market it to. You have to know the systems. You have to know beta.sam. You have to know how to put all that stuff up there and how to navigate the system. So use the experts that are out there would be my best advice.
And I would add to that, in taking those things into consideration at the Navy, we put a lot of resources on our website, and utilizing those resources, whether it's the Navy, Army, Air Force, or any agency that you're looking to do business with, doing your research and understanding where's your niche, where is it that your company can fit in with that organization, and understanding their requirements, but also utilizing that small business professional as your entry point. They'll sit down with you, do a capabilities brief, understand what it is and what you would bring to the table to their organization, and give you some advice of next steps, or potentially set up those meetings. In the Navy, our deputy program managers are designated as small business advocates. So what does that mean to you small businesses? That means that you have an open door to them. But our deputy program managers are very busy. So you might call and they don't answer the phone. How do you get that meeting with them? And that's utilizing those small business professionals that we have across the Department of the Navy. And overall, I think last count, we were at 182. So there's plenty of them out there. How do you find that information? On our website, on our homepage, you can click on the map and it'll give you their name, email address, and phone number. And if you've reached out to them and they haven't responded to you, you can always reach out to my office and we'll help make that connection. So the next question talks about the hub zone. So I am very proud to say that the Department of Navy in 2020 met all of their socioeconomic goals. So we even met the hub zone goal.
Great
How did we
job.
do that? The focus was on the requirements, finding the right companies to meet the requirement. We didn't necessarily focus on the socioeconomic category. That came along, but our requirement at the end of the day is getting the best product to the warfighter. So in the Navy, we did meet our hub zone goals. But what would you say, Vicki, as looking at it from a DoD perspective, what would you say is probably some of the biggest challenges that the department is seeing in meeting their hub zone goals?
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say, that the interesting thing that I heard in your response is that you went after them. And that's what I think our small business professionals need to do a little bit more of if we want to meet all of these goals. We have, with the women's small business goal as well, sometimes we have a little bit of trouble. I mean, I know that the overall spending has gone down a little bit. So to get to that percentage, we're going to have to work a little bit harder. But I mean, I think it's us doing our job and getting out there and finding those companies who are in the hub zones, who can do it, and to find services and products that it doesn't all have to be. I mean, our biggest mission is supporting the warfighter, but we can do that with other things. It doesn't have to be specifically on the battlefield. There are other things that we do that support the warfighter, whether it's even if it's janitorial services or something. I mean, it's still a DoD contract, so it doesn't really matter. It doesn't have, so think outside the box. I mean, if you are one of those hub zone things, we're looking for you. So go to one of the, if you qualify for one of these small disadvantaged categories, then you need to be pounding the pavement and finding those, going to our services, go to their websites, go to their, I mean, the tools are out there. It's just a matter of them knowing it. And that's what we used to say at SBA is that, I mean, this was before PPP came along. We were the best kept secret in the world. Now everyone knows who SBA is. And we want everyone to know who we are too, and who all of our SBPs are, and what they can do for you. And that's what's great about this. The one opportunity that we had that I think is great from COVID-19 is that we all learned to market ourselves a lot better, to get out there. We're having all these webinars that, I mean, that prior to this, they didn't exist, I don't think.
And going back to what we talked about a little bit ago, in doing your research, understanding and responding to those RFIs. So when the RFIs come out, are you responding to them as a hub zone? And following up on that. If you see procurements that are out that potentially you could respond to, contacting that contracting officer or that small business professional to say, hey, I'm a hub zone and I can do this work. So being proactive there.
Right, and knowing all the different things you can qualify for. If you know that you are in a hub zone, if you know that you're a prior veteran, if you're a women-owned small business or whatever, make sure that you know all the different opportunities that are available, and then, like I say, go market yourself.
Great. So the next question is about the Protege program.
I just want to add,
the Protege program help new want-to-be contractor companies get security clearances? Is that an option as a milestone under the Men of Protege program?
You know what? I'm gonna let one of my staff members answer that question. Zach or Rashawn, do you have?
You've gone on mute. There you go.
There's Zach.
Can you see me?
Yes.
Oh, good afternoon. So I support both Ms. Mundt as well as Ms. Chambers in the Men of Protege program. And so one of the things I'd say is there's a lot of the support that we can provide. Being able to join and get a facilities clearance is one of the big challenges a lot of small businesses face, and it's on the list of things that is part of the needs assessment that is done to determine what a small business could get through a Men of Protege relationship. We do have a lot of information from DCSA. So the first thing I would say is to reach out to the Defense Counterintelligence Security Agency. They have on their website, as well as through their small business office, a lot of information about how a small business can get a facility clearance. They've also discussed the difficult challenge of you need to have a contract in order to get a facilities clearance versus I need to get a facilities clearance, but I don't have a contract. And so working with them is probably the first place I would go if I was interested in getting a facilities clearance. I would also offer that, one of the things a lot of small businesses do is they come to the Mentor Protege program at DoD and they mistake the SBA's Mentor Protege program, whether it's the 8A Business Development Program or the All Small Mentor Protege program, and they confuse the two. So in the SBA's program, teaming arrangements are permitted and supported, but there is no money. So you can go after a teaming relationship and with another business or maybe a mentor, and you can go after work together. So that's a way you can pursue getting a facilities clearance or going after work, is by finding a partner who needs a facilities clearance or may already have one and can sponsor you through that process. Another question we'll get, and I think it may even be in the chat, is, well, how do I become a protege in the Mentor Protege program? We've listed some information and some steps on the website. We're probably going to be updating those to give a little bit more information and providing some updated FAQs. But loosely speaking, you want a protege to have a relationship with their potential mentor long before they consider going into the Mentor Protege program at DoD. And the reason being is this previously 3-year program, now 2-year program, requires a lot of resources and time and investment on that small business. So you don't do business with companies you don't like when you're in this Mentor Protege program. You want to have a solid relationship with them. And that might begin with subcontracting first, a subcontracting relationship with them, maybe a year or two, and then finding out, I really enjoy working with them. I'd like for them to mentor me in a specific set of areas, growing my capabilities in a number of different areas. And I hope that answers that question.
Great. Thank you so much, Zach. So the next question is for the Department of Navy, and how are we going about procuring PPE? And across the Department of Defense, we are using the Defense Logistics Agency. You can go to their website, FedMall, and that's where you can learn about opportunities for buying and selling PPE. So this next one, in getting a one-on-one introduction, should we reach out to the small business professionals listed on the website? So I'll speak on behalf of the Department of Navy. Yes, you should be utilizing those small business professionals that are listed on our website as your entry point to doing business with that organization. But anything for you, Vicki, any advice?
I agree. I mean, and we have, I think our link just links to your lists of links from our website, but we have links for all the small business professional within all of DoD. So hopefully you can find someone who can give you assistance or whatever. And that's the first step that we encourage everyone to do when you go through our 10-step things. They will help you figure out who you can market to.
Great. And it just reminded me when you started speaking, I wanted to make the point. We were talking about the facility clearance, and Zach mentioned DCSA. We have that webinar with Mr. Steve Mates on Thursday. He's going to talk about that. I encourage you to join us, and you can ask your questions live to him. We're going to do it in the same format. So please, those questions about the small businesses getting their facility clearance, join us on Thursday. Stay tuned. Okay, so what type of support service needs does the DoD OSBP office leverage or require from subject matter experts, small business consulting firms, or other agencies in executing your mission to achieve your small business goals successfully annually?
Now that one I don't know. Zach's turned on his camera. He knows.
I do have one thought on that. I think a lot of the things that our office purchases is not through our office, but through Washington Headquarters Service. So I think that would probably be the place to go to look to determine how that business could market themselves for things that we might need.
Great.
Hi, this is Sean Chambers. Another thing I would suggest is to go to Beta SAM and identify the contracts that have been awarded. That way you get an idea of what that the needs has been out there, what some of the prime contracting and subcontracting opportunities have been awarded by the government, and give you an idea of where you might fit in.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
So the next question is about the Defense Logistics Agency. This company has been impacted significantly with the lack of contracts being awarded through DLA and others for military spares in quarters 2 through 4 of 2020, I guess with the focus being on COVID. Should we expect contracts to bounce back in quarter 1 of 2021? No, because quarter 1 is over for fiscal year 21. For non-COVID components. So what I would expect is maybe over this year, do we expect for contracts to bounce back? What I can offer is Mr. Dwight Daniel is the Defense Logistics Agency Small Business Director. He's led a team with Mr. Christopher Hall as his deputy. That would be a good question for them. So either you can reach out to the DLA directly. I believe we have links to that on our website. We also did a webinar with Mr. Daniil in the September timeframe, I believe, to get his contact information, or you can send an email to us. Ms. White, please post our email in the chat and we can get that information over to Dwight to respond. So I don't know, Vicki, did you have anything else to add to that?
No,
Right.
I mean, I wish we all had a crystal ball to know when this would all go back to normal, but we don't.
Great. Thank you, ma'am. So this company wants to know how to become a protege for the Mentor Protege program. I'll let you speak about it from a DoD perspective, and then I can talk a little bit about it from a Navy perspective.
I'm going to let Zach. Might as well use you. You're my expert.
So one of the first things I would do is identify a mentor. You have to remember that to be a protege, there's some eligibility requirements that typically have to do with being a small disadvantaged business, as well as having, being one of the socioeconomic categories that we support. So take a look at our website at business.defense.gov. If you would like to speak to someone about it, I can give you my my work cell, and you can call and we can talk further about it. But the first step is you need to find a mentor, and that mentor will be interested in working with you to bring you along. They're going to do what's called a needs assessment on kind of the things that you would like to see developed in your business. And that's going to be the start of that relationship that you could be in the Mentor Protege program. So go to the website, check out to see what the eligibility requirements are. They're relatively simple, but you can also learn a lot more about the steps that you need to think about when joining the program. I hope that helps.
You can email from there too. There's a link to send a question. So it will go to Zach anyway, if you use that email address. So you can contact him that way, or you can, I think my phone number and email is on there as well, and you can contact me specifically. So.
And for the Department of Navy, Ms. Mercedes Thurston is our Mentor Protege Program Manager. What we do in the Navy is we like to tie these Mentor Protege agreements to programs of record. Where's their capability gap? Where's an area that this Mentor Protege agreement will help maybe expand the industrial base, figuring out an area where there's a capability gap that they can fill. Doing that connection with a mentor, bringing that to Ms. Thurston, along with connecting with that program manager to get the concurrence that, yes, this is a need, and we do see that this is a good fit for our program. We also have on our website, under our Mentor Protege Program tab, we have a guidebook posted, as well as some information on steps on how to go about becoming and joining in a Mentor Protege agreement. The other thing is also connecting with the small business director at that command and getting their concurrence along with the program manager's concurrence that this will be a benefit to the department overall. All righty. This company is a 3D printing company, and they've completed the DOE build in 316L. Is there a specific area on Navy's small business office that handles 3D printing or additive manufacturing? No, not in our small business office, there is not. But if there's a specific question that you have or someone that you want to speak with, whether we can do the connection point between our office and who that organization is. So you can feel free to reach out. I believe Ms. White has posted the email address. You can send us an email with more information and we'll help make that connection. The next question. So this person was lucky enough to attend a matchmaking event with our director. And we talked about the 40% decline of commodity services at our Naval Supply Center and how they're looking for suppliers. What is the best avenue to pursue this market? Mr. Chris Espenshade is the Small Business Director at Naval Supply Command. Reach out to him. His contact information is on our website. You can either go under the Commands tab or you can go under the Find Your Small Business Professional tab. Reach out to Chris and Chris can help you. I did see a note in here and I did want to make the point. We do have a number of PTACs that are joining us. Over this next year, we will be featuring a specific PTAC or regional PTAC at our webinars. Utilize the PTACs. They are a great resource with helping you get ready, get up to speed, get ready to go off and procure your first contract. So utilize the PTACs. So this company conference call with the PTAC this morning. They've been successful with the Virginias, with the VAs due to the DoD OSBP designation. We are also SBA as an 8A company and they're registered on the Navy portal. We have exceptional CPARs and staff at the Navy vets. Congratulations. I know there is a no magic bullet, but how do we break through? Okay, so I talked a lot about utilizing those resources on our website and talking to our small business professionals. You need to come prepared. Have you looked at that long-range acquisition forecast? I think I saw a question on here about, are the long-range acquisition forecasts located in one place on our website? So no, we can't make this easy, but what we've done is we tried to make it as easy as we can. You can either go to under our commands tab, there are the 10 buying commands, and under each one of those commands, you can click on that and link to their long-range acquisition forecast. Or, and I can't think of what the tab is, it's next to the search what the Don buys tab all the way over to the right. There's a long-range acquisition forecast tab there. When you click on that, you scroll down, you're going to see the 10 major buying commands logos. You can click on those logos and they should link directly to the long-range acquisition forecast, okay? So that's probably the one centralized location. Keep in mind, these are the long-range acquisition forecasts for the headquarters offices only. If you're looking to do business with Naval Surface Warfare Center, Carteret, that long-range acquisition forecast is not going to be on our website. We're not going to have a connection to that. You would have to go to NAVC's website, and NAVC has a link to all of their subcommands long-range acquisition forecasts. So I encourage you to utilize the resources that we put out there. OTAs. So in 2021, do you see the Navy adopting the use of OTAs and other simplified acquisition processes similar to the other services? The Navy does do OTAs. So adopting it, we're already doing it. We're there. Some of our organizations such as NAVWAR and I think it's Atlantic, Robin Rourke, she is your contact there. They do a number of OTAs out of there as well as NAVAIR. So the Navy is doing OTAs. PTACs. So this is the comment from the PTACs. The PTACs wanted to talk to the Pound the Pavement, using them from a PTAC perspective, utilizing your local PTACs as a resource to help you get ready to do business with the government The point that they were making is that in order to do business with the federal government, you must have patience and you must be persistent. So thank you, Karen, for that note. So this one's for you, Vicki. Does the DoD have open houses where any small business could come and pitch to decision makers?
Well, go ahead, Zach.
I would just offer, and I don't have the complete answer, but I would offer that because there are a number of different agencies and services and even field activities throughout the DoD, there's no centralized location for what is needed. And so each of those agencies and services will sometimes have open houses within COVID-19 and everything that's happened. I think that's transition. But I would say that there are innovation kind of centers, things like DIU, Defense Innovation Unit. There are things like, I forget the name escapes me, but what they do is they are a third party that helps with innovation for government entities. And I think it's the Peabody Institute, but AFWorks has one. They're throughout the government. SoftWorks is another. And so those are some places where they do have periods and sessions that you can pitch your idea or pitch something to them. And I think that the DoD as a whole is moving towards faster innovation efforts and reworking some of the acquisition rules in order to support those things. But we don't have one in our office. We are not a buying command. And so we work a lot on policy and we don't support those things. So I think Naval X is what I'm seeing in the chat. So that's another example of how each of the services and agencies are trying to inject innovation into what they do and to get products and things for the warfighter to them faster and in the simplest way for acquisition purposes. That's what I have to say about that.
And I think SBIR, STTR had a roadshow. I know prior years they aren't having one this year because they aren't on the road, but they would literally take a bus and go, and they would organize these events. And during those events, you would have all the different agencies that participate in the small business innovation research, and they would listen to pitches and stuff. So there are those things. You might want to check out the SBIR website. I, off the top of my head, do not know what that is, but I'm sure if you Google it, you'll get there. But they are looking for that expertise specifically, and they have information on SBIR at SBA as well. So,
and to understand what each of the services' unique innovation areas, like for the Navy, Naval Acts, DAU put out a placemat. So if you go to the DAU website, they have a placemat which shows you all of the different organizations, and I think it has links to be able to get to their website and contact information for all of the different services. So take a look at that. And we've got time for one last question before we wrap up. I think Rashawn was talking a little earlier about subcontracting. If this company is interested in subcontracting with a prime, what is the best way to find out about who the existing primes are? I don't know if Rashawn wanted to jump in.
Here I go. Sorry about that. Well, as I was speaking before, one of the places you can go to is betasam.gov and check out some of the contracts that have been awarded by some of the defense agencies, by the prime contractors, and some of the subcontracting opportunities. It provides the name of the company, how you can contact them, and it will give you the description of what's been awarded and what the services and the buys that they have provided. That can give you sort of an inroad to who you may want to contact or make a connection with.
And then also I would add to that, Rashawn, logging in and doing those industry days, participating in that, that's where you make a connection as well with potential teams. We've been doing a lot of webinars, but also with our commands are doing industry days virtually. So connecting with us on social media to learn more about those industry days that'll be posting will be a good idea. So Dak, did you want to add anything before we close out?
Yes, I'm sorry. This is an exciting question. I would offer that a lot of the primes have small business liaison offices, and you can reach out to any one of them. You go to, General Dynamics, Northrop Grumman, and you look for a small business office. And that entity or that office basically will have a long list that they want to add as many small businesses on as possible. Specifically, if you already know the contract, like Ms. Chambers already mentioned, it will also help you to see, well, what kind of work has this prime that I'm interested in been doing that relates to my NAICS code and my capability. You align those two things along with what Ms. Chambers said and what you said, and you've got yourself a good way to get closer to getting the subcontracts.
Great. All right. Well, I'd like to take the time to thank Vicki for joining us today and her team. This has been a great webinar, sparked with very exciting questions and answers. So thank you all. Happy New Year. And please join us on Thursday to talk to Steve Mapes about getting a facility clearance. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.